Let's move things along. I have another witness I'd like to summon. There's so little going on here. I don't know what I meant. And the questions are like, so was the king the target? Well, of course the king was the target. Was the rose the poison being used? We don't know. It's like, well, if you don't know the rose was definitely how the poison was used, how do you know the king was definitely the target? This act is not as good as the first one. His men claims to have an excellent view of the people going in and out of the Louvre at the time of the incident. Call on Monsieur Toussaint Kingsley. Witness, please approach the stand, recite the oath. Hello. Oh, right, the oath. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Full name and occupation. Toussaint Kingsley, person who fishes. Person who fishes? You're a fisherman? Oh, is that how it is? I thought the French justice system was better than this. I beg your pardon? Here comes Toussaint Kingsley, the kingfisher. Clearly he must be a fisherman, because didn't you hear? All kingfishers are fishermen. Well, you are carrying a fishing rod. And? Can a man not carry a fishing rod, reel and bait without being branded a fisherman? Look! The prosecutor is carrying a riding crop. Clearly he must be a horse jockey. Oh, for pity's sake. Fine, we can list your occupation as person who fishes, not fisherman. Thank you. Is that meant to be funny? Says a guy whose puns are atrocious. Actually, why do you carry a riding crop 7 round? I've never seen you ride a horse. I don't know, JD. Why do you, a 30-something-year-old with no health problems, carry a cane? This is veering quite far. Of course, could the prosecution please get back to the questions? Of course, Your Honour. Sir Kingsley, is it true you were nearby the Louvre at the time of the incident? Yes, I was sitting on a railing of the Pont des Arts. Is it there? The Pont des Arts, that's the new bridge that's just a stone throw from the Louvre's south entrance, correct? That's right, yes, thank you. And what were you doing at the time of the incident? I was fishing. Pfft, kingfishers. Am I right, Falcon? So you had plenty of opportunity to see people who entered and exited the palace. Can you tell us who you saw? Louvre is a busy place. I saw a lot of people. But at 9 AM, I saw the king, Louis Philippe himself, enter the building. Surrounded by his entourage, of course. Around 9:30, I saw the shifty-looking fox lurking around the entrance. Your Honour, I object to the witness's use of the term shifty-looking. It's vague. It's a vague and biased description. No, really, he looks super shifty. I saw him rubbing his paws and cackling gleefully. And I saw him take out a rose and carefully rub the stem. Stem of a rose, you say? As if you were applying something to the flower, perhaps. I'm sure I really shouldn't speculate. Of course, it's wrong with me. Yes, it was wrong of you. It definitely looked like he was putting some sort of powder on the stem. Wow, even I wasn't expecting such a bold admission. Members of the court, it sounds like we have here is a direct witnessing of the defendant readying the murder weapon. Defense claims the rose was never poisoned, yet here we have a man who saw the poison with his own eyes. I smell perjury. You do? No question. You saw a shifty-looking criminal readying poison, cackling near the scene of the crime. It's not believable at all. I think you might be right. I wonder if I have any evidence that calls Toussaint's story into doubt. I'd like to cross-examine the witness. Once again, you just heard the witness directly describe your client ready. Like, I get that in this situation, this judge is trying to undermine us as the defense, but it feels like I've got a really hard case to do in the second story. I have zero evidence, and I'm not sure how. Without hindsight, I could do a better. As in, I'm not sure there's any way I could have deduced from the way it's been set up that I've gone the wrong way. Trying to cover the truth, Your Honour. Ugh, fine, do your thing. Go on, Falcon, make a fool of yourself. Statement to question, Pont des Arts. So, oh, I don't actually have it there. What do you mean I don't have it there? Oh, I don't have the map. That's really frustrating. Oh, that's just the thing. It's not actually. I don't actually have that. Why is 44? Why is that not a thing I could have looked up? Powder. Oh, right. Stem of Rome. Yep. Saw it with my own eyes. Are you sure it was? Are you sure you saw powder? Because how are you going to inject someone with powder? How far away from the south entrance? 20 meters, perhaps? 30? Somewhat doubtful you can make out powder being applied to anything at this sort of distance. Sure, I don't claim to have seen the powder itself. I said that it looked like he was applying powder to the flower stem. Could have been wax or liquid or whatever, but the guy was definitely putting something on the flower. I see. That's nice and vague. What? How does that not get me any credit? Are you sure it's a rose? Yes. Are you sure it was a rose? Are you certain that the fox was handling a rose and not some other type of flower? Pretty sure the red petals stand out quite nicely on a grey January morning. So you're confident, you're absolutely sure you certainly saw a bright red flower in the fox's hands. What are you getting at, JJ? Prince Juan didn't possess a rose? Oh, of course, she'd gotten rid of them already, hadn't she? Like, I don't know why, by the way, I don't know, I had chrysanthemums pop up. I have reason to believe Prince Juan did not possess a rose at all. I think he may have in possession of a sprig of monkshood. Or even just a simple daisy. Really? You're claiming that Prince Juan did not possess a rose despite 22 witnesses... Yeah, this is a ludicrous line of inquiry. There's zero doubt he possessed a rose on the day of murder. Agreed, defense look it up with this moronic way of thinking. No, but okay, mate. Okay, I can't remember what she said because it should be in the evidence. But the Swan said she didn't have roses, although I think she said he was the last one to buy it. To be fair, but it should pop up. That's evidence. That's evidence. That is evidence. Do you have another question about the poison rose? No, I was admittedly doubtful of that one. I probably shouldn't have said it. Shifty-looking fox. Jokingly claims saw a shifty-looking fox. Yep, super mega shifty. Are you sure that fox was Prince Juan? There must be at least 100 foxes in Paris. How do you know that fox you saw was Prince Juan? Well, he was wearing a suave hat that hung low over his eyes. I think that's how they spare them in Spain. I'm not much of a fashion expert, but the rest of his outfit looked quite out of place for the French winter. Is that all you're going by? His fashion sense? Oh, I nearly forgot. I heard him call a passerby seigneur. I thought that was peculiar. Well, that's him, alright. Yes. No, never mind. King and his entourage. So you're sure the king himself entered the Louvre? Indeed I did. Who was in the king's entourage? Who did you see in the king's entourage? Well, there was the king himself, obviously. And there were quite a few guards. Maybe 4 or 5, including a big dog, who I hear is the guy who died, Major Howell. I think that was all. I see. Yes, I want to ask the other question, I think. Are you sure? It's my understanding the king does most of his work in the Palais Royal, which lies to the north of the Louvre. A little strange you saw the king enter from a south entrance, is it not? I know what I saw, Monsieur. JJ, there's little reason to doubt the king entered the Louvre from the south. Are you really calling this basic fact into question? I don't have any evidence. I wasn't certain of what he saw. I'm certain there's a cephalopod. I have no evidence to argue with any of these points. How am I meant to do anything? Like, that's a key point, isn't it? That page 44 is missing. I should have been able to go to Mousy. Like, you have so little time to work with things. And that's a key thing. Who bought it? Because he didn't buy it, so it must have come from somewhere else. And Pont des Arts. You say you were sitting upon the railings of the Pont des Arts on the morning of the incident? Yep. Is that a good fishing spot? Here's a good fishing spot. I assume you would be better off fishing upstream, away from the city. It's okay. You'd think the pollution would scare off the fish, but some species thrive in it. I managed to catch a 70cm zander from the spot the other day. Really? 70cm zander? What bait were you using? Good question. See, some like to use worms, but I found that good roach will always triumph. I object. This is completely off topic. Sustained. Discuss your fishy business once the trial is over. Okay. Try the other one. What entrances can you see? Monsieur Kingsley, you had a good view of the Louvre's south entrance, didn't you? Yeah. Okay, so we know he came in through the south is the problem. What about the other entrances? The other entrances? You mean like if you're entering from the Tuileries Gardens? Because he came from the Tuileries Gardens, didn't he? Plus, no, I couldn't possibly see those areas from the bridge. But of course, that isn't relevant. Monsieur Kingsley witnessed Prince Juan entering the south entrance with our hand. That's what counts. But he used another entrance. What if Prince Juan didn't enter from the south entrance? What if he approached the Louvre from the Tuileries Gardens to the west? Tuileries Gardens to the west. That's a big what if. Do you have any evidence that Prince Juan entered them? As a matter of fact, yes, I do. What's not the south? Hey, I know what I saw, monsieur. I'm doubtful too. Go on, I don't have any evidence. How am I meant to do this? Yeah, like, maybe... No, because I was just thinking, maybe for a moment I was meant to ask Rabitio Rubinio about it, but he wasn't there that week. There is no evidence. This is... There is nothing to go on for this case. There is nothing... I have no evidence for this. And I'm in a position where, apart from pressuring the Swan when I shouldn't have done, and maybe asking Rubinio that one question, maybe that would have given me access to a bit more evidence for me to use. Apart from those two problems, I have no idea what I've done wrong. Other than, oh, maybe I should have done things in a different order, which the game has not given me any suggestions to, or any clues to. I feel, in this sense, that the game has been unfair. And that's what is really frustrating. Is, like, there was no chance to go back to the Swan and ask further questions about the issue. And now I'm like, I honestly have no clue what I'm meant to be doing. Like, maybe going to the chocolate bar thing was completely irrelevant, but it... Part of me just wants to throw in the towel. I've got no evidence for this point, and clearly this is the best point. So we've got the poison rose, that's irrelevant, Let's try Don Quixote, what could possibly go wrong? Look at this. A book page. Page 44. It was found just outside... Wait, what? When? What? What? Where? What? What? How? What? What? How do I have evidence I don't even know exists? What? We found just outside the Louvre's west entrance. Proves nothing. I'm not done yet. Take a look at this. Don Quixote. This is the book Prince Juan had been reading in jail since his arrest. I believe he has had it on his person for some time. And yes, page 44 is missing. First thing I checked. You do realise what this means, don't you, Severin? The defendant was present in Tuileries Gardens prior to entering the Louvre. So it means that in all likelihood, the defendant entered the Louvre from the west entrance, not the south. He could not possibly have been seen by Monsieur Kingsley from the Pont des Arts. But what? I know what I saw, monsieur. Fine theory, Falcon, but maybe the defendant took the long way round. One could still travel from Tuileries to the Louvre's south entrance by walking along the river. An extra 2 kilometers of walking just to enjoy the pre-murder scenery? Let's not say silly things, Cocorico. Okay, maybe the defendant deliberately left the page there to mislead the investigation. Now you're the one who's blindly speculating. It's not blind speculation, it's a viable hypothesis. You're fond of logic, aren't you, Cocorico? Let's talk about Occam's razor. When torn between two seemingly equal hypotheses, we must side with the one that imposes the fewest assumptions. Which of these theories takes fewer assumptions? 1. Page from Prince Juan's book fell out on his way to the Louvre's south entrance. 2. Prince Juan deliberately planted the page on the off chance that it would be discovered, then he took the long way round. How dare you, the nerve of you to lecture me on such basic philosophical concepts. I'll stop lecturing you when you stop making such basic mistakes. Monsieur Falcon, please calm yourself. What is the point of all this yammering? The ultimate point is that Toussaint's testimony is fabricated, made up, utter fiction. No, everything I've said is the truth. I suspect the witness isn't even a fisherman. I'm not a fisherman! See? He admits it himself. That's not what I meant. Gained a little favour with the jury. I need more than a little favour. I need a miracle. Prosecutor, you have something that will put this arrogant Falcon in his place, don't you? I must concede. You concede? On this point, at least, Falcon's evidence strongly suggests the key component of Monsieur Kingsley's testimony is false. No! This doesn't mean that Prince Juan is innocent, of course. All Falcon has demonstrated is this plea. If the point of the defence is if I can prove that all of your witnesses are unreliable, you have no case. That means innocent until proven guilty. You haven't proven he's guilty, so he's innocent. I don't need to prove he's innocent. I just need to undermine your case, which I've done so far, somehow. I did see something. I really did. Alright, so maybe I didn't exactly see a shifty-looking fox. I made that part of the story up. I did see a swan lurking around the south entrance on the morning of the murder. A swan? Do shut up, witness. Your word is as mud at this point. How can we possibly trust anything you have to say? Yeah. So the wolves... she owed money to the wolves, and now he's trying to stop it at this point. Your Honour, Judge Romulus, we're out of time. 10 minutes overdue to start on the Hare vs. Saucers trial. Is that late already? Curses, I was hoping we could have the case wrapped up in a single trial session. It's a shame, but ultimately an accurate sentencing is always preferable to a speedy sentencing. Yes, alright, I don't need to hear your moralising. Court will resume this Friday. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I have more time for this case. Yay! Do your job. Get the stupid fox conviction already. I'll do my best to ensure this justice is served, Your Honour. Is that the end of the day? A lot came up in that trial, huh? Yeah, no doubt about that. Something's wondering, why would that fisherman guy, Monsieur Kingley, lie on the witness stand? Maybe he was coerced. Well, it's possible he was coerced or bribed. That's just what I was thinking. Maybe the real murderer threatened the fisherman into making up a story about Prince Juan. To keep an open mind, anything is possible at this stage. But to be perfectly honest, something else is bothering me about the trial. Judge Romulus. Judge Romulus. He's acting without a shred of professionalism. He's obviously more interested in securing a guilty verdict than he is in discovering the truth. But why? Maybe he has a vendetta against Spanish royalty. I'm not so sure. There must be something else at work here. Excuse me? Excuse me, Monsieur Falcon? Oh, yes. Sorry to bother you, but this letter just arrived. I think it's for you. A letter for me? I wonder why it wasn't sent to my office. Have you been demoted to courier status, Rupert? Oh, hush, hush, Sparrowson. I don't need to be pitied by a first-year dropout. Oh, good. Come back. So what does the letter say, Falcon? It's a threat. A threat made with cut-out newspaper letters. Wow. I didn't know those things actually existed. Let me see. Falcon, stop your investigation or there will be consequences. Scary. There's no question this letter originated from Major Hal's murderer. He, or she, must be aware that we are getting close to uncovering the truth. Sounds about right. Why would a person write with cut-out letters, newspaper letters like this? Asking one's handwriting would be the most common reason. Although I can't help but wonder why they would bother, since we don't have any handwriting samples to compare it to. We're still going ahead with the investigation, though, right? Absolutely. Oh, yes, absolutely. If a lawyer were deterred every time they received a threatening letter, they would never get any work done. And still charge for it. Besides, with only 3 days before the next trial session, we can't afford to be worrying about petty things like this. Tuesday. Wednesday. Thursday. Wow, you're right. Let's make those days count. Oh my goodness, we're doomed. I was thinking we were going to get through this entire section in one go. We still don't know about the chocolate yet. We could try going back to R&M and talk to Mousy. I don't think we've got... Here's the thing, I've got so little evidence, I don't know what I'm going on. Like, I don't know who to ask about at the Chocolate Emporium. We can't go back to Les Halles. If we go... to be fair, maybe she runs off anyway, even if you ease off. She doesn't talk to you anymore. We could go to the Palais de Louvre and ask there. I don't like the fact you have to spend a day to ask one question, though. That seems a little ridiculous. Admittedly, that's my plan for going to Mousy. So it is kind of frustrating. We've got 4 different places we kind of... Well, if we ignore... I think the reason that the inn is still lit up is because we can do the gambling thing a bit more, possibly, or there's something else there. So we can kind of ignore that. We don't have any idea of who to ask about the Emporium yet, so we can ignore that as well. My thought maybe is possibly the judges, but I think we need to leave that until we have... I think we had 3 proposals, 3 suggestions we can ask. I think wait until we have like 3 people or someone it's like, this is definitely the person we want to ask about. We'll probably wait for that. I think going to visit Mousy is probably the key thing we're going to do. But I am going to put the card in here. And so yeah, next time we're going to visit Mousy. And then, I don't know, maybe go to the Palais de Louvre and ask Rubinho, because there was another question, but I'm not sure how valuable that question really is the problem. Maybe see what Mousy says, he might give us some more of an insight. And maybe I was wrong and overreacting, but I don't like the way this has gone. And maybe it's just a different style, and I just kind of, that was my gut reaction, but it feels very, very... I feel incredibly lost, and I don't like that in a game which is meant to be based on deduction. I don't have an idea of what I'm looking for. We know the chocolate seems to be the key thing, but we don't have any idea of who to ask about. Maybe on the last day we could pop in and just ask about whoever we could. I'd like that if there were... There's a few of these things I'm not sure I like them being extra time, but whatever. So yes, next time we will kind of do some more digging and more investigating and see what happens. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.